Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. New viewers, welcome. Existing viewers, welcome back. I'm going to show you a few things that sold today. I'm going to show you a few things that I listed today, or I'm getting ready to list, and they turned out that they're worth a little surprisingly more than normal in terms of for buttons. So I just want to show these and let you know that be on the lookout for things like this. Let's just go ahead and start with those. I haven't gotten this listed, but this is a Barry Lyndon pin. I'm a big Stanley Kubrick fan myself. This is in really good condition. Apparently this is a promo button, and you can see that it's got one of those it extends past the button. So that's how you know that it's pretty old. Last time this was on eBay, this sold for $35, and this is in an incredibly good shape. I believe this came out in 1975, my birth year, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm gonna definitely be selling it. But yeah, I do enjoy Stanley Kubrick quite a bit. A couple other buttons that I don't quite understand the history of. Come to Middle Earth and Frodo Lives. Now, some of these buttons, and again, these have the same extended needle, pointy, whatever you want to call that. These sell from anywhere from like $25 to $45 a piece. Very bizarre. And there's these people seem to put Elvish Protest in the title. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea why these Tolkien buttons have anything to do with Elvish Protest, why they're so valuable, except for the fact that they're old. There's lots of Tolkien fans out there. Yeah, I just don't know the history of them. But I listed those as a set, and we'll see what happens. So let's get to a couple things that have sold. I have already packaged up a couple things. The thing about today, which is kind of cool, is one item that I sold today caused me to hit my my daily sales profit goal target. We'll get to that in a second. Since the last video I did sell the Stephen King Eyes of the Dragon book. I'm actually not familiar with this book. This sold for $25. I already packaged this up. It sold late yesterday. I was going to go to the post office today, but I did not. But yeah, so I don't know if the fact that, there's always different covers to Stephen King's books. You know, some of the earlier ones are more desirable. I don't really know why this particular cover sold for $25, but I accepted an offer on that. Another thing that was cool that sold was, if you've been a regular viewer of this, you know, it must have been about 6 weeks ago, I got all these German books for free. I was on Facebook Marketplace. This guy, he had all these German books. He just kind of wanted them gone. I went there, I took as many as I could. I did not expect there to be as many as there were. It was quite overwhelming, but I've only listed about 17 of them because I kind of wanted to see if any of them were going to sell. And I don't really know, should I be listing them in the German name, or should I be listing them in the translated English version? I don't know. But one of them sold today. I've already packaged it, and I wouldn't really have shown it to you because it's so fragile. It's this book. it's so fragile. It's from 1842. It's 1001 Arabian Nights. It's really cool. Let me show you the copyright page. You can see 1842 on there. It was the oldest book I believe I've ever had. I woke up to an offer for $50 on this, and you know what? Yes, I'm gonna take that. When I've got nothing in on that, I just think that's super cool. So that's kind of motivating me to kind of go through. I've got tons of these these older German books. I haven't even gone through them all, so I'm gonna try to list maybe 1 or 2 every few days and kind of see what happens. But I'm guessing this was just maybe a fan of 1001 Arabian Nights, because this is how I listed it. 1001 Arabian Nights, 1842, Denig Fink, German language. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool that that sold. I've been listing a lot of buttons these last couple days. I've just got massive amounts. I'm just trying to get listed. This Take Me for a Spin Datsun sold for 12 plus shipping. I listed it last night. Somebody made an offer overnight and I accepted. So yeah, there's that. I sold the last bottle of this Pantene hair tonic to the same customer who has just been amazing. He's literally probably have bought 10 or more of these off of me, ranging anywhere from $35 to $50. This was the last one that I have. This sold for $35. I accepted the offer because of who it was. I appreciated his constant support and buying these items. So yeah. Something that I wanted to point out that in regards to promoted listings. So I've always been under the impression that if somebody buys something from you using a promoted listing kind of link, or however eBay does those promotions, that anything for the next 30 days that they buy from your store, it kind of falls under that umbrella. So whatever you're promoting at, and if they buy one thing and they buy another thing, that is you know, falls under the promoted listings. But that wasn't the case with something that I sold. Basically, somebody who had bought something and then they added something else, and it didn't show up as promoted listing. So I don't really know what to believe. I don't know, you know, just like eBay, so many things are a mystery in terms of how everything kind of works. But I thought that was interesting, and quite frankly, kind of nice, because it's like, why go through, I mean, not why go through the bother of trying to upsell somebody or whatnot if eBay's just going to get another cut. I just don't like I was thinking about something today. If you promoted at 10% and you sold $100,000 worth of stuff in 1 year, on top of the $15,000 essentially that you're going to be giving to eBay for final value fees, you would be giving them another 10 grand. 10 grand in promoted listing fees. Like, you could probably pay your car off with that money. That is just, that blows my mind. Just let that sink in. I still wish all sellers would just not use promoted listings. Anyhow, the big ticket item, and you know, I've studied selling somewhat over my life, and one theme that I've kind of like heard repeated time and time again is, whenever you're selling things, it's always a good idea to have some large, big ticket items in your store, because you just, you know, you never know. You never know when someone's going to come along and buy something from you. And that's what happened in this case. And you're not, there's only a certain amount of people out there that are going to come along and buy big ticket items. But if you don't have them in your store, then you can't possibly sell big ticket items. So food for thought, you know, get some big ticket items and put them up in your store, because you just never know. So anyhow, I did show this when I picked it up, probably about maybe 3 weeks ago. This is a James Christensen. When I bought it, I didn't know if it was a painting. I didn't know if it was authentic. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know the name of it, to be honest with you, because I couldn't really find any information on it. I just knew that it was a James Christensen based on the Google image search that came up, but for some reason it wasn't coming. Oh, no, because it has this name on here. I have a friend of mine who does work in an art gallery, who I met off of Facebook. and he looked at it and he kind of like gave me some information on how to determine. He's like, this is either a print or a poster that potentially an art gallery would have sold. And he was like, he valued this at, you know, maybe $150. I don't know. Who knows? I sold this today for $300 plus $30 shipping. Now the frame is super cool. The actual piece itself is called Vanity, and I mean, I'm happy. Like, I believe I paid, I can't remember exactly, I want to say $12 or $13 for this at the thrift store. And you know, I just keep in my mind thinking, what if it would have been original, right? Like, you just never know. You hear about people like stumbling across an original piece in thrift stores and whatnot. And had this been original, this would have definitely been life-changing money. It would have been super cool. And in my mind, I keep thinking it's going to happen. And you know, it's I don't want to say it's like the law of attraction, but it's a confidence that I have, like sooner or later, just because I put myself in positions to find something like that. Like I go all the time. Sometimes I will be out running errands and I'll go to a thrift store, and then, you know, hours later will have passed, and on my way home I'll just stop off again at the same one, because you just never know when they're going to put something out. So I thought this was super cool. The person was ecstatic to buy it. They sent me a message. They said they've been collecting this particular artist's work. I'm going to show you again. I mean, I love this kind of stuff. Like, it's just weird, obscure. Like, this is just stuff that, this is my kind of art. So, $300 US, more than happy to sell that. I can't remember if I said this was 35. The Dotson. So I guess my only other question that I want to ask you guys is, I'm probably gonna have to call eBay tomorrow to ask if we're allowed to sell stuff like this. But you know, of the buttons that I've been listing, I came across this one, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, so I'm just gonna show you. Are we allowed to sell stuff like this on eBay? Like, I don't know why somebody would want this, but I don't know. You know, the limits of what people want to spend their money on is infinite. So are we allowed to sell buttons that have profanities in them? I mean, I think I saw that button listed, but I don't know. Just because it's listed, that doesn't necessarily make it the case. But I'm going to probably call eBay tomorrow. If you guys know any information about whether or not something like that is allowed to be listed, please let me know. Save me a call, having to call into eBay. Spare me that. But anyhow, not a lot of sales, quality sales. And oh, one more thing, I almost forgot. I had a local sale today, a really good local sale. I gotta show you a picture of it. Oh, it's on my phone. It's on the phone that I'm using. Okay, so just visualize this. It's called a mountain bike. It's kind of like a skateboard with 4 kind of big wheels, like really big wheels that you know you use on a mountain. Or this particular buyer was going to use it with some sort of like kite thing. Like some sort of like thing was attached to it, and he's gonna ride. So anyhow, that sold for $130. My wife bought 2 of these things, one for me, one for her, like 15 years ago, and I was not getting on that thing. Like, I've never ridden a skateboard, and so the whole idea of doing that was just like, no. So it just basically was sitting in my in the basement for quite a long time. I was like, okay, we got to clean this out. So that sold as well. So some nice big sales coming in. and I've just been listing. I've been without a car all week. My wife is visiting a friend, and so I've just been chilling, listening to music, catching up on some Netflix, and doing some listings. So anyhow, guys, have a good evening, and hopefully we'll see you soon.